future stepson.
Norwegian violins, the Nordic Fiddles, they also have 28 different tunings. So you've got all these strings, all these different tunings. Most of the music that we're playing today, 75% is in the regular tuning. At the end, we're going to treat you to a new tuning, and it's called the bell tune. So that will be fun, but we'll have to stop and tune, so get ready. No, the regular tuning is not the same as a violin. It's a step higher. Or some even more than that. So it's complicated, but you can ask us about it when you see us afterwards. There's something not saying. Okay, getting lots of good help here. Okay, so welcome. We're excited to share our music with you. This program, many of us, when I was picking the program, I said, let me know some of your favorite tunes. And so these are a collection of all of our favorite tunes. Everybody got to pick one and the other to new ones. So thank you for coming and enjoy. I'm not done. The first tune is Louis Lockable Expo. It is a bridal march. I need to tell you a tiny little bit about weddings. In the traditional weddings back in the day, they would meet at the farmhouse, get dressed there, and then they would march from the farmhouse to the church where they would get married and then come back. But the procession there and back would be led by a harmonica fiddle player. So this is a tune from Expo, and it is the bridal march from there. Listen for the harmonies too, because after we're playing, you play two strings at a time, and then we also split into harmonies, so it's really lovely. I do have to tell you, the fiddle player would get processional down to the church and back to the farm, but he was not allowed in the church. The earlier years, people felt like people playing hard on their fiddles, they did it in saloons and taverns and at home. They played all night, which meant that they couldn't get up the next morning and go to church, or read their Bible, or feed their farm animals, or work in the fields. So there was a while in Norway where these were destroyed and they were burned, and so we're lucky to have what we have. But it's interesting how the attitudes have changed now. So one thing with weddings would go on sometimes for several days. They would march back to the farmhouse. They would dance all night, have a breakfast, rest a little bit, dance some more. So it was, I hope they had several fiddle players because I don't know anybody that could do all that. This next one is called Ribbon Dancing, and it's one of the tunes that they may have danced to when they got back from the wedding. Some of these bridal marches, not some of them, these bridal marches are specific to a certain area, and Ole is where my husband's paternal side is from, so maybe some of his relatives got married we're proceeding down from the farmhouse to this tune. That would be kind of cool. Several years ago, we took a trip to Norway, and we actually took a side trip to the area that he was from, and they had a really cool, Harley, what was it called? It was a whole village of, oh, I know Ole, but yeah, okay, he's busy. They had this Stoughton church where his third great grandparents had been married in, and so that's really, really cool to go back and be able to touch that kind of history and just feel their presence. And they had all sorts of buildings that they would live in and what their different functions were for those. So it's really a neat experience. So this is the Rhinelander from All, and this isn't the bridal tune, it's the Rhinelander, and this is something they would have danced to after the wedding or just for fun. cousin Denver smelled at the wedding reception or whatever they would call being at the house for several days. Some conversations had to come up. Don't you miss this Spellman? Don't you miss this or that Spellman? Spellman is a fiddle player. This next tune is one of our very favorites. It's called Homage to Spellman. So it's honoring past Spellmans, and it's not a dance tune, it's more of a listening tune. But the harmonies are just so beautiful, so I hope you enjoy this. Everybody said this is one of our favorite songs, and we have 2 in a row, so. The second tune that is also one of our favorites is another slow tune. It's called Not Till Far. And it was written, I have to read my notes, by the son of a famous fiddler for his father's 100th anniversary of his his birthday. So this is a tribute to the father. They were from a multi-generational, very good fiddle family, and the father's name was, help me. Anyway, this means tuned by my father. I have glasses on, I can't see down there that low, and I got to stand up to talk to you, so anyway, this is another beautiful song. Did you hear the harmonies in the last one? Wasn't that just so pretty when they joined in? So it almost sounds like there's more than one fiddle playing, even when it's just all playing the same thing because we're on 2 strings, but then we have the harmonies, so there's 4 tones going at once, which is just so, so beautiful. tradition, all the women would wear gonads with purses, and do you know what was in the purse? Somebody's heard this talk before. A spoon, because you brought your own cutlery to a wedding. So if you had 100 people, who's going to have spoons for everybody? So they would tuck a spoon in there or two, and then they'd have they could eat there too. So don't think of the trays of beer going around. The next song is Hopper and Holly, and it is also a telegon, or if it's a couple says. A holly is a single person's dance. It can be either a male or a female, and I don't know who's seen a holly dance on video or YouTube or anything. Okay, a few of you have. Yes, you definitely have. A holly dance is where, in the past, it was a very fit, athletic young man, like perhaps in his teens or 20s, somebody that could still leap and jump and do all that. As you get older, you can't. You can hardly get off the floor sometimes. So anyway, so it would often be a young man, and a girl would stand on a chair, and she'd have a stick in her hand, and she'd put a hat on the end. So imagine me, I'm not going to do this, but imagine me standing on a chair with a stick in my hand and a hat hanging on the end. And I think okay, we're back on. It was, so anyway, then a very athletic young man, and now there are also athletic young women that do this, would make circles around, and he'd pretend to kick at the hat, but he wouldn't really do it, and then he'd do all sorts of athletic things, kind of like strutting and showing off. And finally at the end she'd keep raising, he'd go higher, and he'd want it higher. So finally at the end she'd raise it really high, and he would just do a barrel kick and kick over and kick it off. And I know that Teddy is with the Norwegian dancers, and I've watched him do it too, so it's nice to be young and fit. They do a very nice version of it. My husband and I laugh because if we get down, but sometimes we struggle to get back up, so it won't be an old person's dance. So this is the Hopper and Holly. They do call it a telespringer too, because if they do it a little slower as a couple's dance, you can do that. So, Hopper and. Stoughton dancers are going to be performing. Are they doing a hauling today? Oh yeah, so if you want to go see what a hauling looks like, these guys like to show off. The next song, you can kind of even tie it into the wedding theme because all the guests are at the wedding, and guess what? An angry neighbor comes over and he goes, "Your critters are in my yard." So this is called Ocos. There's a bunch of other words that I can't see up to this high. So listen for the animal sounds. Andrea is just going to play just a short little snippet and end on the animal sounds. So there's like 3 or 4 of them in here, and it just almost sounds like a or blah or something. So you can use your imagination to imagine which critters got loose in the other person's yard. There it is right there. Could you hear that? Just play that one note. Yeah, can you hear how that's kind of like a meh or something? Here we go. Your critters. Could you just imagine those critters running around the yard and people trying to catch them and get them back on their own side of the fence? This last tune in the normal tuning that we're going to do is called Figarood's Farewell to America. And this is my husband's favorite tune. He said, "You always end your program with this." We can't because we have to tune into a different tuning and you'd be here all day. So we're going to play it now before our last song. Lars Figarood, or Hans Figarood settled in Stoughton. This is a true story. Hans Figarood settled in Stoughton in the 1800s when he immigrated here, and later his brother Lars came over in the late 1880s, early 1900s, and they came from a family of fiddlers that were well known in Telemark. Lars was a very excellent fiddler, and he also did compositions and stuff. So anyway, he came over here to start life in a new land, as everybody did in those days. He was very gifted. He was handsome. He started playing, and you had a lot of Norwegians in this area in the upper Midwest who wanted to still connect with their homeland and their heart on a fiddle. He would put on concerts, and he made a lot of money. He was like a Norwegian rock star. He would, in the 1800s, one concert I read, he had made over $1,500. Now this is 1890, so you know when things cost a penny and 5 cents, and you know land was a few dollars or whatever. $1,500 for 8 concerts. So anyway, he kind of went to his head a bit. He lost his fortune, made a fortune, and lost his fortune the typical way that rock stars do, with wine, women, behavior, things like that. So anyway, he got sick, he fell sick, and his friends sold his costumes that he would perform in, and some of his instruments. I don't know how many instruments he had, but they sold the costumes and an instrument to get him passage back to Norway because he was sick and he lost his fortune. He wrote this song in the bow of a ship on the way back from America to Norway, and 2 years later he died in Norway of tuberculosis. So it was a sad story, but just amazing that he was even writing songs still on his way back home. Can you just imagine how elated he was to get here and have this life, and how defeating it must have been to go home in that condition. So, his brother Hans also owned the Nevermind Saloon. Is that still here in town? Yes, it's just down the block. So that building is still here. So that's part of the family lore, and it's really interesting. So one part in this song, it goes, you'll hear parts that go from sea to shining, and then it doesn't hit C. So you'll hear that, listen for it. I'll see if I can make a motion or something, but I may be concentrating on the music and can't. So Pickerood's Farewell to America means his farewell to America. Forgotten to introduce everybody in this thing and in this grouping. I'm very proud of them all. They've all worked hard. It started with Maggie over there. She was my violin student, and she saw one of these on my piano. She goes, "What is that?" So I said, "Well, how about for the summer, why don't we play a little bit of hard on fiddle and see how you like it?" Well, she loved it. They bought one. Her mother said, "I want lessons too." So anyway, it started going from there. Stay here because we're going to, I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves. They've been waiting for this. Some of them are terrified. They have to speak slowly. They just need to tell you a little bit about themselves and what other interests they have. And I do have to say they're all excellent musicians.
Hello, my name is Laura. I've been playing the harpy fiddle for 3 years, and I've been playing the violin since I was 5. I'm a senior going to UW Eau Claire next year.
Hello, my name is Stoughton. I've played the harpy fiddle for 1 year, and I've been the viola since I was 10. Yeah. 2016, I was playing with the dancers and dancing with them, so it'd be there.
Hello, I'm Asher's sister. And I've been playing the fiddle for 3 or 4 years now. Yeah, I'm a senior in high school. I'll be going to Lawrence Conservatory for music. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Maggie. I'm 14 years old. I've been playing fiddle for like 4 years. I've played the violin since I was like 4 or 5, I think. And yeah.
I'm Andrea. I'm Maggie's mom. And I've been playing, maybe like, we started in the pandemic with the hardhunters. Yeah, we had our hardhunter lessons out on our deck, so the neighbors got an earful of beginner hardhunters.
Okay, we're going to stop our tune, so don't go, don't leave your seats. We're going to be coming right back. We're back. This is called the bell tune. This is a wedding march from Voss. And why it's called the bell tune is because the fiddlers would tune, there would be 3 bells on a horse sleigh, or they put 3 bells on the horse that was leading the wagon or walking with them or whatever. And the fiddler would tune to that tuning so that when they were playing the bridal march, it sounded good with the bells on the horses. Now, I'm not so positive that this is exact tuning for this bell, but I do have some antique sleigh bells. Thomas is Maggie's brother and Andrea's son. He is going to be the Norwegian fjord horse today, so welcome, Thomas. Thank you for coming in. See if you can tell the difference with the tunings. One string went down low and another one went higher than the other, so. It is called the troll still tuning, which is also the tunes of the tuning of the underground ferries. So lots of Norwegian mythology.
Thank you.